Hello and welcome on another battle on WOT Tactics. Once again we are on the BT-2 on Province. Well, that does happen when you're tier 2. This is a frequent map. But nevertheless it's a map I like, and especially it's a map I like for sniping. And at the beginning of the game I've asked some of my teammates to go there to G7, which is a very good place for spotting, and I take then this position because it allows me to kind of fire on the enemy, especially from a high vantage point, as you can see, much better than anyone else, and I can destroy them. So that's good. It also provides me with a bit of cover and a bit of both types of cover, soft cover and hard cover, and which in case I get spotted. Although I have to say, on a tier 2, being spotted from this distance is very unlikely. So a bit more sniping here, and don't worry, this battle is not going to be so boring as you think. It's not going to be just camping and sniping. There'll be more happening. In fact, if you want, I'll just fast forward a bit so that you can see how things go. Get 2 kills. My team anyway, it's doing something as well, but we're not winning. And I hate it when on Province, despite being on the right side of the map, we don't win. And this is where things get a bit hairy, because there's a T7 car that is just coming up, and I realise that that side of the map is completely undefended, and we've got to stop that T7 car from coming up. If he comes up here, he will spot all of us, and the enemy on the other side will just have a shooting day at our expense. At the same time, I'm also extremely careful because the T7 car has got a very powerful machine gun that fires an enormous amount of bullets for a very long time. And my armour is rubbish against the machine gun. In fact, it's rubbish against anything. The BT-2 doesn't have much armour. It's very fast, it's got a good gun, but it's got 0 armour practically. So I have to be extremely careful. And here I managed to actually set him on fire, and boom, he dies. But I paid a big price for that. I lost a lot of HP, and I've also had my driver killed, but I managed to resuscitate him. And just as I thought that danger had been averted, I realised that we are losing, and B, we've got enemy at our base. So I take back my position. But really the idea is to kind of assess the situation, and should the enemy come up from this side, I can then help that T18. But he doesn't come up on this side, and I'm kind of left thinking, well, what am I going to do? Shall I go and attack? Of course not, because if I go and attack, I'm going to get spotted, and any enemy tank on this side of the hill, if they're there, will be able to shoot me. So I've also got very low HP, so I think, well, you know, I'm going to have to be very conservative here. I'm actually the best in the team. Look at this, 3 kills. So it's very important that I survive. I've got to survive, even at the expense of looking maybe like a little coward. But I've got to kind of preserve my health. When finally we get to see not just 1 but 2 of the enemy tanks, and that's where I think, okay, it's time I go and defend. And look, they're all attacking, and they're all going for that M2 light. So at this point I think it's fairly safe to snipe from here, and that's exactly what I do, trying to save that M2 light. Got the tank destroyer. Let's see if we can get the light Vic.
Penetration.
Come on, just one more.
Enemy armor is hit.
Okay, he got killed by somebody else, but that's fine. So we've managed to kind of level things a little bit, and we've thwarted this attack by the enemy. So there's only basically 4 tanks left, well, 3 plus the artillery, and the artillery gets me. How did they do it? I just don't know. I mean, I know I must have been spotted before, but to actually hit me like 10 seconds later, I don't know. I mean, some artillery are just so lucky. That was obviously splash damage, and just as well, because I would have been wiped out otherwise. But now my hit points are very low, and guess what? The driver has been killed again. I do not believe this. He got killed before, and now he gets killed again. So it looks like the game, it just does not want me to win. It's doing all it can to give me a really, really, really hard time. I can't heal the driver. I've used my medical kit. And that in a way actually makes my game even more low profile, because I can't go and drive around and harass tanks or spot or whatever. I've got to kind of take a very, very defensive position. I know that there's still that Panzer 35T at the Abbey, and there's that medium 2 somewhere there. And so I basically think, well, let's wait and see if they make a move. Now you should watch this. That is the artillery that got me before. One shot goes above its turret. The second one also goes above its then the third one goes behind. The fourth one falls a meter off. The fifth one goes behind and then eventually gets killed. I mean, what can you say about RNG in this case? It can't be just bad luck. I mean, I think I was just not destined to destroy this artillery. The game decided, nope, you're not going to destroy this artillery. But never mind, my teammate did, so we're now even. But it's still very, very dangerous situation, and suddenly that medium that used to be sort of there has now decided to go up this way, and I'm kind of a bit stuck, because I think, well, there's that Panzer 35T on the Abbey. If I go and expose myself, he's got a direct line of fire on me, I'm gonna die. So I decide to kind of take it a very, very kind of slow approach, and wait to see if perhaps, just perhaps maybe, another enemy tank gets spotted and I can take it from here. But nobody gets spotted, and in the end I think, okay, well, forget it, let's just go for it. And by just keeping moving a little bit, I'm hoping to kind of deny the chance to the Panzer 35T to ever go at me, and it does work. I'm lucky there. He probably didn't have the time or didn't have the opportunity to destroy me. And then suddenly this Panzer II finally appears. He hadn't been spotted until then. Now there's only one thing I can do here. Notice that my driver is still dead, and yet I still managed to drive the tank fairly well somehow. So that's good. All I can do now is just keep an eye on this Panzer II, and in the chat I tell my teammates go and cap. Going for cap will make the Panzer II, and especially the 35T, come out, leave its cover to come and trying to reset the cap, and that way perhaps then I can have maybe a clean shot at them, or they can have a clean shot at him, and we can win. I've got 5 kills, let's face it, so you know, I wouldn't mind killing one more and getting my Top Gun, but it's a very hard work and extremely risky, because I've only got 26 HP. The Panzer II has got a machine gun. That means that so long as I keep him at a certain distance, I should be able to not be shot so easily, because obviously his accuracy will be very low because of the distance. So I don't move from there. I'm doing a double duty here. I'm keeping an eye on the Panzer II, and at the same time I'm also keeping an eye on the base, just in case anything comes down from that side here, from this side there, or from behind him, behind me, of course. What is strange is that the Panzer 35T is no longer there. It's not been spotted, and the Panzer II is there, but I can't do anything about that. There is a rock in the way. I can't hit him, but I just wonder, where on earth is that Panzer 35T? And I reckon it's somewhere in there, perhaps. So what they have to do is move a little bit forward and hope to see him. But where is that Panzer 35T? Where is it? And these are very tense moments, because you know, that Panzer 35T could pop up from anywhere, and there he is. He was next to the Panzer II. Why did he abandon his position? I don't know. Big mistake. He should have stayed by the base. Of course, now the T-26 is going to capture the base, and that's a good thing, because it means it gives us a kind of insurance. And whilst the M2 Light is engaged in the Panzer 35T. At the same time, I'm also trying to make a move and come up from there. Now the Panzer 35T is dead, and that's good news, but our Panzer II is still there, doesn't seem to make much of a move, and I think he's also trying to reset our base capture. The M2 Light tries to go for it and gets killed, so this is pretty bad. Now I have got a dead driver, I've got 26 HP, and we are capping the base. At this point I am not thinking about the Top Gun. All I'm thinking about is, even if I have to sacrifice myself, I need to put myself in between the Panzer II and our T-26 that is capping the base, delay him as much as possible so that the base capture can be successful. And I actually try and take a pot shot. He's there, and of course he disappears just as I'm about to aim, so I take 2 shots there. I don't know whether I register a hit or not. In fact, 3 shots. I know my cover has been blown, but I need to make sure that that Panzer II doesn't get to the base capture. Finally get to do some damage. This is really tense. One more, please. And I get him. So that was good, because not only I managed to secure the victory for our team, I actually also managed to make sure that the base would have been successful if the base capture would have been successful if necessary. But you also got Top Gun, and all this with a dead driver twice and 15 HP left. Good game. Thank you for watching.